Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NJ1ST podcast. My name is Ryan McDonald. Thank you for joining me again. I have a candidate, this time a state Senate candidate for New Jersey. The election's 2023 coming up in Legislative District 34 in Northeast New Jersey, Essex County specifically. We have Joe Belnome. Is that correct? Joe Belnome is how you pronounce it?
That is correct, yeah.
Thank you for joining me, and we will have a nice discussion. Free speech is what we're aiming for. So if you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for state Senate.
Sure. And Ryan, thank you for what you're doing and giving candidates a platform like this in New Jersey. And, thanks for having me on your show. So my name is Joseph Belnome, and you did pronounce it correctly. And I'm branding Jersey Joe here. I'm actually going to try to get that on the ballot. We'll see. Maybe next week I'll talk to the state about it. But yeah, so my district, LD34, encompasses Belleville, which I grew up in, Nutley, Bloomfield, Glen Ridge, Orange, and East Orange. So I am running as a Republican, obviously, and every town in my district is leaning Democrat. So, that's how it's been drawn. It's a tough race. So locally, as far as politics goes, I mean, I'm been mostly interested in national politics and but I did work on local campaigns, mayoral and council and board of ed campaigns. And as far as holding any kind of office, I'm district leader in Belleville, and I've been delegate for Trump, and that's how I started with this. So
Awesome.
Go ahead. What was the next question?
Awesome. I appreciate the activism that you have done. I've seen you and witnessed it, and I've seen the people you surround yourself with are the ones who helped audit the vote New Jersey in 2021. You must have been around during that time too. So it's good to see that you're in the fight, still through it, and now throwing your hat in for candidacy. And we can move on to the first question I had for you, and that's regarding what I saw on your campaign website. It knocked on the sanctuary states. We are New Jersey, a sanctuary state. We even are sanctuary counties now. Only one county in New Jersey is not a sanctuary county. That's Sussex County. But you touched on it perfectly, that all counties are border counties. All of our states are border states now. And we can maybe discuss on illegal immigration if you like, because you're over on that Northeast area where now the national media is picking up on New York politicians and Democrats talking about their illegal immigrants are ruining their cities. It's got to be overflowing into Jersey too. You want to talk about it over there?
I mean, in Belleville, Nutley, those areas, I'm not seeing it. But it's funny that even Democrats, they can't really handle it. In New York, it's just an overwhelming and it's like taking vets out of housing and putting illegal immigrants in there, and they got their own problems with protesters over there. But listen, my parents immigrated here. So I'm first generation in America. They immigrated here legally. I had an uncle, who was my favorite uncle. He is gone now, but he came here illegally. I like to tell people he swam to America because he used to be a merchant marine. And at one point at port, he decided with two other guys, like, let's jump this ship and swim and just go to America that way, because I don't know, somehow they were trapped in some contract on that ship. But he was here for a couple of years, I guess, and until he got deported. He got deported. So some of them, my family, I mean, I can, it's not something like, oh, it's not your, you never experienced this or whatever. I mean, I did firsthand. I had family that came here legally, and I had one that didn't. He got deported until he finally came here legally. So, that's what everyone needs to do, because, you need to be vetted. We can't just have a border wide open. That's what I say. I always follow national politics. And there's an organization called Numbers USA. I've always followed that as well, because it's just like, without a border, you don't have a country. There's people coming in. We don't have no idea who they are, what purposes they're coming here, what women, what children are being trafficked, what diseases these people are bringing. Are they terrorists? I mean, we just don't know. The people that they're catching, they're on terror watch lists. And, those are the only ones those are only the ones that they're catching.
Right.
So I think that people need to come here on a merit-based system. We do need immigration. I'm not against immigration, but it's got to be legal, and it's got to be something sustainable. We can't just let people come here illegally and then start giving them benefits and those type of things. So listen, I'm against sanctuary cities, states, counties, whatever you call it. So
great. I love that. I love that answer very much. I myself have American ancestry back to the Revolution and legal immigrants, just like yourself. But I do have that one that came over illegally, just like you said.
Cool.
It's just the history. He's from Germany, actually. He came over, and he never gained citizenship. But that does not mean, like, personally, he never gained citizenship. I'm
Yeah,
against that. You should get citizenship. You should go through the process. And
sure.
it's good to have that other side in that conversation. That's great. Great that you have all aspects there. That's awesome. And we can move right on to the next one. It's interesting, Essex County, the election integrity news just came up with the choosing of, I suppose, the way in which the Republican or Democrat appears on the ballot. And it came up that, I forget, in Legislative District 38, maybe, or Michael Byrne, whatever district he's running in.
Michael Byrne.
Right. The Democrat won for the last 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, even if you look into it more. And so now they're finally suing it. And that's some election integrity over there, let alone all of the voter by mail that we went through, all of the fraud that is supposedly happened, but we know happened through our own eyes that we saw. And, let's just talk about the election integrity of the voter ID, obviously, but you want to speak on election integrity a little bit more?
So that is something that you brought up, and I kind of witnessed firsthand. Michael Byrne is probably someone you should have on your show. He's a very intelligent man, and I've only met him recently when I started running. His team reached out to me like, "Oh, we see that you're doing a write-in campaign." I didn't even go into that with you in the beginning, but so that's how I know them. And then now, I always know about line A. There's some kind of you have an advantage if you get line A. And as far as I knew, the past couple decades, the clerk has always pulled line A for Democrats.
Right.
And it's supposed to be like I watched the process. That now it's like they put it in this tumbling machine, and they have these two capsules in there, and it's like you're able to witness it. You can't touch the capsules, but they're always pulling Democrat. Well, lo and behold, Michael Byrne brings this lawsuit, and all of a sudden now Republicans pull line A. So that's
right.
I like to tell
forgot.
people I'm lucky with things like raffles and contests and things, and just that he did that brought me luck with having line A too, because that's Essex County who's going to have line A. But now, as far as the ballot boxes, I don't know if you watched that movie 2000 Mules.
Mm-hmm.
I do not support having ballot boxes. I don't care how easy it is. It's not hard to go out on election day and show your ID, because everyone has ID, and vote in person. And I do believe to have vote by mail, but that's only if you're out of state, maybe military, or if you have some kind of health issue that you cannot make it to the polls. I mean, we want to make sure everyone's able to vote. So that's my opinion on that. I don't think that we need, those ballot boxes and everybody put on vote by mails. I'm worried now because, and it's another topic with medical freedom or tyranny, but it looks like they're trying to bring that down the pike. I don't know if that's going to be before this election day. They might try to force us to do vote by mails again for everybody, and it's just not secure. There's no integrity in that. It's too open to fraud.
Right, exactly. It is too susceptible, exactly. And it's great to hear that someone like yourself is aware of that and not afraid to speak openly about it. We know that the NJGOP has been pushing their vote by mail, but understandably, I guess,
I'm not against
majority.
them. Right, I'm not against them pushing that now, because we need to win. And we need to beat them at their own game. The only way the Democrats are going to agree with us and vote with us to get rid of those type of things, if we start beating them at it, like that's just makes sense. If they're winning at it, they're going to always vote against it. So if we can beat them at that, like, okay, now they're playing our game, and let's bring it back to whatever it was before, or maybe make some other new rule. It's like they always find a way.
Yeah, I've did a recent interview with people who audited the 2022 election, and it was great information, data. It shows susceptibility to fraud, but you're right that people have to at least try with what we have, and then get involved and change it for next time. I saw some progress this year, especially through other states, but in New Jersey, I saw progress in people getting aware, getting more involved. So it's good that it's happening. At least that's the most we can hope for. And if there's anything else you'd like to say, we can move on to America First. And if you'd like to talk about the MAGA movement at all, Trump 2024, perhaps.
Well, yeah, I mean, Trump is my favorite candidate. There's no hiding the fact that I am a Trump supporter. I mean, if you just Google my name, he believes in America first. I mean, I don't think that has to have anything to do with Trump. I mean, it's fine to be America first. We have to take care of our country and the people that live here before we, help other countries. I mean, it's funny. I was watching Karine Pereira. What's the lady that works at the White House, the press secretary? Somebody was talking about, funding the wall, and then like she used examples like, money to pay for that wall could have been spent, helping vets and other things. I'm like, what about all those billions you're sending to Ukraine? How could you even use that example? That the money to fund that wall was not even like a dent into the money you're sending to other countries. It doesn't even make any sense. So I mean, with America first, like, listen, that's I don't know if that was the answer you're looking for or to get out of me as far as who I support, but sure.
That's a great answer, especially for viewers of the NJ1ST podcast, but also new viewers who are coming into the NJ1ST podcast, seeing people with different opinions. Yeah.
I go talk to people, and I've been told by many in the part, like people in New Jersey, they want to distance themselves from Trump. I don't know. I think it's a mistake. Whatever. It's not like, Trump's our God or whatever, but the guy's got great policies. You don't need to worship him to know that he's doing great things for the country. And, I don't feel that I need to distance him. But if I talked about, like, listen, we're talking about it now because you asked me, but if I ever tell people the things I'm running for, Trump's not part of the conversation. He's got nothing to do with it. It could have been anything. There could have never been a Trump, and it's still, those are the type of things I'm running on. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Awesome. And maybe one last thing I'm sure you can comment on, because it's over in your region, and I think you have experience with them. The New York Young Republicans, or New York City Young Republicans, I believe, with Gavin Wax and Vishbira, a bunch of grassroots, I'd say, trying to get involved, stay active. Have they been open to you? I think you've been involved with them. Have they been? Are they aligned with the same way? Yeah.
They throw some great events. They're grassroots, mostly out of New York, though. And like I said, I like national politics. They have national figures. I'll be going to their Christmas gala again. It was funny going to their last Christmas gala with the protesters they had outside. I mean, they were like yelling at you like you're a Nazi or something. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This is like Donald Trump Jr.'s in there, and we have like this. Congress people in there, and it's like they're treating you like it's a white supremacist party. It's like the weirdest freaking thing. But I've met with them. I've gone to their one event. They had a rooftop event over the summer, and another one.
They had one during COVID, and Governor Murphy made a tweet about Gavin Wax saying he wasn't allowed back in New Jersey. It was very funny. He had a COVID party, and people in the Bergen County GOP, I believe, attended, or it was in New Jersey, maybe something like that. And just recently, this year, Gavin Wax came to a seat at the table in New Jersey, which is a political event, and he made a joke saying, "I guess I'm allowed back in New Jersey." So the only reason I ask is because we need help. New Jersey needs help from everywhere, from anywhere, and it would be awesome to see that fusion over in the northeast side of New Jersey start up. And yeah, I see you with the fire in your heart.
Well, it does look like they're expanding. It is New York Young Republicans, so I'm a little bit over the age of their core there. But it looks like they're having some ambassadors in the New Jersey area, and Gavin Wax, he's somebody to watch. So I'd like to see him run for something one day. He's a good speaker and he's an organizer. So he seems like a great guy.
And since you're running for state senate, I could ask you personally, but maybe you already know, are there any bills that you plan on bringing with you, or anything you're excited for voting on? I know Ed Durr has some bills.
I was about to say Ed Durr beat me to it with the parental rights bill. I just got an alert on that, and that was something that that's a big issue right now in New Jersey. But another thing, one bill that I'm considering is banning transgender affirming care until the age of 25. It's like a social contagion going on in all these states. I don't know what's happening. We have our Board of Education pushing sexualizing children at very young ages, talking about gender, this and that, and then you have these books in the library that my opponent actually sponsored a bill to keep in the libraries that have very graphic content. I don't think it has any place for children to be viewing. And I actually went to the Bloomfield Public Library the other day to look at one of these books, and it's disgusting. It's filth. So, and she's real proud of sponsoring that bill. It's like she wants to ban the library if they try to ban the book. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what skin does she have in that game to keep that kind of book in there? You know, they're trying to compare it to book burning. You know, it's just not making any sense. So,
And
you know, we
I
have,
believe,
you know, as far as going with the transgender movement, you know, if you're an adult and you want to change your gender, you know, you go right ahead. But something that, you know, got me where I'm like, where are people defending these children? It's the children and it's the women that are under attack. I don't know what the women's movement is doing about this. They're
right.
silent on this. You know, where you have biological boys playing in women's sports. It's not fair and it's dangerous. And to add insult to injury, when they beat them unfairly in the locker room, they expose themselves to your daughters. I mean, what is going on here? This is common sense, you know. And so that's something I'm strongly against. And I do have an opponent that sponsored a bill that's directly involved with those books. So hopefully I get in there and we can reverse some things and support our next Republican governor.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you. And I agree, especially other countries, I believe self-proclaimed liberal countries have done a 180. They don't do that gender gene therapy stuff anymore. They did it, right? It's a mistake now. So I guess we're the only countries doing it. As well, you want to speak on maybe real quick, Rutgers. I think 99% of universities in America don't mandate this vaccine. Rutgers, along with other state universities, Montclair, I believe, as well. But Rutgers is getting the mainstream news. They're still mandating this vaccine, and I'm curious because I'm a Trump supporter too. People shouldn't give out their medical information, but I'm right now going to. I didn't take the vaccine. Donald Trump, I support him 100%, but he says it's the thing that saved everybody and all this. But let's talk about Rutgers, and that is a mandate. How do you feel about those mandates?
Well, you know, so yes, I did see Rutgers on the news recently, trying to mandate is it with the vaccines or maybe even the masks as well. It seems like they never stopped. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's coming down the pike. You know, like it's coming from the top. They want to bring down this medical tyranny again. And, you know, for some variant that doesn't seem like it's even killing anyone. So that's not making any sense either. And, you know, you keep Democrats in power, and this is just going to keep happening over and over again. It has nothing to do with our health. It's about control. They want to control us. They want to control every aspect of our life. You know, I go to the barber. He still has the stickers on the floor that, you know, to you know, 6 feet apart, you know, social distancing. You know, I remember being in the supermarket and there was a husband and wife. They were standing there in line. And the supermarket worker was like, I'm sorry, you need to separate each other. You need to separate. The lady's like, this is my husband. We sleep in the same bed. What are you talking about? It just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. You know, so it's already been proven that the vaccines did not prevent illness. They didn't stop the spread. The masks didn't work. So everything didn't work, and we're still going to follow CDC guidelines. I mean, when do you put a stop to that? This is America. CDC, and they don't control, you know, or the World Health Organization, rather, doesn't control, you know, what happens in America. So why would we follow what their guidelines are when we know they don't even work?
And in hindsight, everybody was speculating about Ian Smith fighting back during the lockdown. I'll tell you now, I see a lot of people posting on the internet saying, if they try again, push back. Do not stand up. Do not
comply. You know, I hear it, and I hope that people stick to it. And I know Ian got a lot of fines, and I hope he didn't really have to pay all that stuff. I mean, he really put himself on the line there.
Yeah, the people, the American people helped him, and he was good. That's good to know. Great. Yeah. Where can we find out about Joe Belnome's campaign and his social medias if people want to get involved? I know that you're on the ground, active grassroots campaign, door knocking. So people should join you. You know, you need a lot of volunteers and help.
Right. So my website is votejerseyjoe.com. And there's a section there obviously for donations, but also a volunteer section. We are, you know, I have my campaign truck all decked out, and you know, I have all my door hangers, and I'll be out there this weekend where I'm working on Bloomfield right now, and it's going to all be about turnout this year. You know, there's no governor and there's no president on the ballot, so it's we're going after the low propensity voters. And it's just, we have to let them know there's Jersey Joe's on the ballot. He's America first, and he wants to protect their rights. So it's just about getting the information out there. people like yourself putting me on our platform, and anybody that is able to get on the volunteer and tell your friends. It's all appreciated.
Well said. Well said. A couple months ago, I saw the Democrats were scared for their turnout. Even yesterday, I read even further, they're more scared that Democrats are not going to turn out for this 2023 election. So everybody who's listening, show up for Joe Belnome, vote on November 7th. Is that the election?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. And please follow the NJ1ST podcast on YouTube and Rumble, at Ryan McDonald USA on Twitter, NJ1ST. And thanks for watching, guys.